Something changed on January 1st this year, and most drivers have absolutely no idea. Not a small change, not a technical update buried in a government document, a real change. The kind that shows up at a traffic stop before you ever see it coming. Stick around. Every single year, people lose their licenses, pay fines they cannot afford, and walk out of courtrooms confused about how a normal Tuesday drive turned into a legal situation. And almost every time the answer is the same. The rules shifted and life was too busy to notice. That is not a character flaw. That is just reality. Laws do not announce themselves at your front door. They take effect quietly while you are living your life. And by the time most drivers find out something changed, they are already sitting across from a judge or writing a check they did not plan for. This video is the announcement that never came. 10 driving laws that changed in 2026, broken down in plain language. No textbook terminology, no wasted time. Just the facts that keep you legal, keep your license clean, and make sure the next traffic stop you have ends the way it should. Let us get into it. Law 1. Hands-free is no longer optional in most states. If you are still holding your phone while driving in 2026, you are operating under rules that no longer exist in the majority of states. As of this year, hands-free legislation has either been enacted or significantly strengthened in more than 35 states. That means no holding your phone for calls, navigation, or anything else while the vehicle is in motion. Bluetooth, dashboard mounts, and speakerphone set down before driving are your only legal options. First offense fines in several states now start at $250 and climb sharply from there, with repeat violations carrying license suspension in states including California, New York, and Washington. Law 2. Speed cameras now issue tickets without a police stop. Automated speed enforcement technology expanded dramatically entering 2026. Cities including Chicago, New York, Denver, and Washington, D.C. have significantly increased their automated camera networks, and several states that previously banned speed cameras have reversed those bans this year. What this means for you is simple. You can now receive a speeding violation mailed directly to your home without ever being pulled over, without ever speaking to an officer, and without any of the constitutional protections that apply during a live traffic stop. The ticket arrives, the fine is due, and your insurance provider finds out regardless. Law 3. Every word you say is now being recorded and analyzed. This is the one most drivers are completely unprepared for, and the reason we listed it third. In 2026, multiple states have either enacted or expanded legislation authorizing the use of AI-assisted recording systems in patrol vehicles. These systems do not just record audio and video passively. They flag specific language patterns, cross-reference statements against existing databases, and generate automated notation in the officer's digital report in real time. What this means practically is that the casual, trying to be helpful answers most drivers give at a traffic stop are now being processed, stored, and potentially cross-referenced in ways that were not possible even 2 years ago. The statement, "I just came from a friend's house," is no longer just something the officer scribbles in a notebook. In jurisdictions using these systems, it becomes a time-stamped, digitally stored declaration attached to your stop record. Your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent has never been more relevant than it is right now in 2026. Exercise it politely, calmly, and consistently. Law 4. Electric vehicle rules just got significantly stricter. As EV ownership surges across the country, lawmakers have responded with a new wave of regulations that took effect this year. Several states now require EV owners to complete updated licensing endorsements, acknowledging familiarity with specific EV operational rules, including regenerative braking behavior, charging station etiquette laws, and HOV lane eligibility changes. Additionally, new rules around EV operation in extreme weather conditions, specifically around battery management and hazard light requirements during reduced power situations, are now on the books in 12 states. If you drive an electric vehicle and have not checked your state's updated EV-specific regulations, in 2026, you are potentially operating outside current law without knowing it. Law 5. License renewal requirements have changed in 17 states. 17 states updated their license renewal protocols entering 2026. The changes vary by state, but the most common updates include mandatory vision retesting for drivers over 65, new digital identity verification requirements tied to the Real ID Act enforcement deadline, and updated medical disclosure requirements for drivers with certain conditions. If your license renewal falls in 2026, do not assume the process works the same way it did last time. Check your state DMV directly, because the requirements may be materially different from your last renewal, and failure to meet the new standards can result in an invalid license even after you believe you have renewed. Law 6. Right on red is no longer universal. This one surprises people every single time. Right turns on red, which most American drivers have assumed as a universal right since the 1970s, are now restricted or outright banned at a growing number of intersections across the country. In 2026, New York City's expanded right on red ban covers virtually the entire city. Washington, D.C. has implemented similar restrictions across large portions of the district, and several other major municipalities have added intersection-specific prohibitions that are marked with signage many drivers are simply not noticing. Running a prohibited right on red is treated as a moving violation in every jurisdiction where the restriction applies. Look for the sign every single time. Law 7. Unmarked police vehicles have expanded legal authority in several states. In 2026, legislation in multiple states has expanded the circumstances under which unmarked police vehicles can conduct traffic stops without a uniformed officer present. This is directly relevant to your safety and your rights. If you are pulled over by what appears to be an unmarked vehicle, and you have any uncertainty about its legitimacy, you are legally permitted in most states to slow down, turn on your hazard lights, and proceed at a reduced speed to a well-lit public location before stopping. You may also call 911 to verify the stop while remaining in the vehicle. Do not simply pull over on an isolated road for an unmarked vehicle without taking basic safety precautions first. Law 8. Passing emergency vehicles now requires a full lane change in all 50 states. Move over laws have existed for years, but 2026 marks the first year in which all 50 states have aligned on a consistent standard, requiring drivers to move over a full lane when passing stopped emergency vehicles, tow trucks, and road service vehicles. Previously, some states only required reduced speed. Now the full lane change is mandatory nationwide, and enforcement has increased significantly alongside the legislative alignment. Fines for violations start at $150 in the most lenient states and exceed $500 in states with enhanced penalty provisions. Law 9. Cops already know. Before you hand anything over, paper insurance cards are not gone, but they are no longer sufficient proof of coverage in a growing number of states. As of 2026, 32 states have implemented real-time digital insurance verification systems that officers access directly through their in-vehicle systems during a traffic stop. This means the officer knows whether your coverage is active before you hand over anything. If your policy lapsed even briefly and was reinstated, that gap may appear in the system. If there is any discrepancy between your paper card and the live database record, the paper card does not override the system. Make absolutely certain your coverage is current, active, and accurately reflected in your insurer's reporting before every drive. Law 10. Eating behind the wheel is now a moving violation. The final change on this list is the one with the broadest long-term implications. 8 states have expanded their distracted driving statutes in 2026 to include non-phone activities that visibly impair driver attention, eating behind the wheel, applying makeup, reading printed materials, and in some cases extended interaction with in-vehicle entertainment systems are now explicitly included in distracted driving provisions in these states. Enforcement is observation-based, meaning an officer who observes the behavior has grounds to initiate a stop. The legal standard is whether the activity visibly diverted the driver's attention from the road. In these 8 states, that standard is now enough. Every law in this video is active right now. Not coming soon, not under consideration. in effect today on the same roads you drove to get wherever you are watching this. The drivers who get caught by these changes will not be the reckless ones. They will be the careful ones who simply did not know. That one detail is the only thing separating a clean record from an expensive lesson. Take 5 minutes after this video and check the 2 or 3 laws that apply most directly to how you drive. Your state DMV has the specifics. 5 minutes now saves you considerably more later. If this gives you something useful, send it to one person before you close this. Someone who drives every day and has no idea any of this changed. That share might be worth more to them than they will ever realize. Subscribe because this is what every video here is built to do. Hand you the information before the situation arrives, not after. Stay protected. See you in the next one.